Marvel's 2006's Civil War, written by Mark Millar, is one of the most praised and influential comic book events of the 21st century. It's the comic which created the cinematic vibe that the industry has today. People call it the comic that gravitate everyday non-comic readers to the medium. With that said, I'm not really a fan. Don't get me wrong, there are intriguing ideas in the story. However, I see this as a case of when a potential synopsis is met with poor execution. Fortunately, the recent Captain America Civil War movie deviated enough from the Mark Millar story to create one of the best superhero movies of all time, giving me a little more hope that Civil War 2 would also learn from the mistakes of the original. In this sequel, the polarizing issue isn't reminiscent of Bush politics. It instead deals with free will versus determinism in the spirit of Minority Report. The strength of this issue really goes to the credit of its writer, Brian Michael Bendis. Bendis has done a solid job of leading up to this conflict through the Civil War Free Comic Book Day issue and the number 0 issue as well. It also greatly helps that he's writing the 2 ongoing Iron Man books, Invincible Iron Man and International Iron Man. This has given Bendis a chance to gain a grasp on Tony Stark and have him not act out of character when the conflict ensues. So, what is the conflict, you might ask? Earth is under attack by a celestial destructor, and it's far too powerful for just the Avengers to take on. Eventually, a sizable fraction of the Marvel Universe's gallery of superheroes come to their support, and thanks to the sorcerers led by Doctor Strange, they're able to save mankind from certain doom. During a celebration held at Stark Tower, it's learned that the early warning of the attack came from the Inhumans. After questioning their queen, Medusa, how they knew the threat was coming, she reveals their secret weapon, an Inhuman named Ulysses, who has the astonishing ability to see into the future. This, of course, leads to polarizing viewpoints that sparked when Captain Marvel asked Ulysses if he's looking for a job. Stark jumps in as the opposition right away, arguing that the extent of his powers are unknown, and nor do they know the probability ratio of his ability. He also plays out circumstances that cause them to take action when no crime has been committed, asking both the characters and the readers whether it's right to punish someone for a crime they didn't commit, but you know they were going to do. While this is a mature story, don't think it's lacking in the humor department. The celebration at Stark Tower is reminiscent and obviously inspired by the party scene from Avengers Age of Ultron. Here, Bendis provides us with some enjoyable banters and his witty dialogue. Eventually, trusts are shattered and friendships collapse toward the latter third of this double-sized issue, as Bendis wisely adds weight to the characters' arguments. We see consequences that could have been avoided had one character perform at the requests of another. Guilt, responsibility, loss, grief, and animosity all come to fruition in the comic's closing pages. The current Invincible Iron Man has been solid throughout its short history, but later issues it has been missing the touch of the artists David Marquez and Justin Ponsor. Thankfully, they're brought on to portray a visually outstanding comic book. The cosmic threat in the opening is drawn in vague detail with a fiery hue that makes it look intimidating and a legit threat. Marquez's pencils really shine through when he needs to capture the emotions of the characters, in particular Tony Stark. The artwork throughout has a nice sense of realism, but it does allow for the fantastic, and it fits perfect in this story. It's upsetting that we're getting another Marvel event that will deviate writers from their current stories, especially so soon after the exhaustion that was Secret Wars. Fortunately, Brian Michael Bendis has delivered a strong opening issue here that should hook readers. The motivations are genuine and not contrived, which is the biggest mistake of the original. Hopefully this will lead to a strong character development, and if it's good, ramifications that will impact future stories. With assistance from stellar art team who deliver the goods as well, Civil War 2 #1 is definitely worth a read. Go out and buy this comic immediately.